Hello, folks. Welcome to the Private Brands channel. I'm Dan Rahi. On this channel, we talk about private brands and how the industry is doing. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry that we don't really talk much about. And I'll do a special show just on that because it's such an interesting topic. It's sort of an hidden industry and how it works and what are the functions, what are the insights and all of those good things. So if you are someone who is planning to build your own brand or grow your brand or your product, or you could be a vendor, supplier trying to improve your supply chain, your market share, what have you, your product line, your portfolio, or you could be a retailer trying to improve your margins or your portfolio, part of the private brands team, as part of a retailer or an agency. There's so many moving parts to this entire industry. It's such a complex moving target or mechanism overall that touches upon so many different fronts. This is going to be super helpful for you because each program, each show, I'll be focusing on a specific area or a product or a brand. I may be interviewing people as well. This particular show, I really want to focus on something very, very interesting that we come across on day-to-day basis, but we don't really talk about it much or may be just ignoring this so far. So it's really going to help you sort of understand how we can or should analyze a product, how closely we should be looking at things, and especially if you're a buyer or a vendor supplier trying to push this type of a product forward, then this is something you really want to keep in mind. But just even as an end user, you want to definitely look into this because this is something super important. What I'm talking about are disposable utensils. These are made up of specific type of material that I'll talk about and show you, and how they do in the market. That is something I want to talk about as well. Today, I want to bring your attention to a very important issue or a concern that I see all across the industry in retail, restaurant businesses, fast foods, mom pop shop at home as well, and different occasions. So, this is about the disposable utensils. I have an example I want to share with you today about spoons here. What is that? I picked up some samples. See if I can point it out. Can you see that little hair type thing? Yep, right there. And I'm gonna twist it. See the back. This is actually part of the spoon. It's not something that is just sticking on top of it or anything like that. Let me show you another example. Here's another example. I don't know if you can catch it, but right here, see that? And you can see it. I'm gonna twist it, the back side you can see. Let me see if I can find another one on top of a black background so you can actually the camera can catch it because it's really hard. These spoons are in production. What that means is that it's not a sample or anything. It's not a sample from a vendor or supplier. This is in production, meaning that I pick these up from an actual place where people can come and pick them up and use them with their, whatever they're buying, ice creams of some sort or what have you. I don't want to name the name of this place because I don't want to create problems for anybody. But I want to bring attention to this because it's not isolated to any one vendor or any one supplier or any one retailer. Now, in this case, this spoon is kind of distorted. If you can tell, this is distorted altogether. So if you compare it with a normal spoon, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, that distortion. And these are injection molded. The process is, these are different, made up of different polymers. They're injection molded, and this can cause defects or distortions. These should be eliminated within the production process. The problem is that we, the people, don't really care or pay too much attention to these, especially, something like this, a little hair particle or particles, little parts of these polymers. Polymer is the material that is used, and there are different types of polymers that are used in this process. These can be dangerous for your health. Now, let me show you another example just for comparison. This, I would say, is a good example. You see clean edges, no distortions here. It still has flexibility, still flexible, but not as, as flexible as some of these spoons, because this is definitely a lighter gauge, and the amount of material used in this one is overall is less. It seems like, or feels like, they're giving a little backing here to keep it from breaking.
Okay, folks, I want to share a few more brands and products here while we're at it. So here you can see the Kroger brand. I think I showed a spoon before. Pretty straightforward. Some private brand portfolios have like a good, better, best strategy. This looks more like a good or a value tier. Product, and you can see pretty simple, straightforward packaging by Kroger. And you can see another one here, Celebration. They're calling it. This looks more like a better tier. You can see a nice big window cutout that spreads to the sides a little bit as well. And all these little things matter when these private brand teams are building these brands. There's most likely a copywriter who came up with a nice blurb. They have their web address, they're distributed by, you can see Kroger, just to confirm. You can see all that nice romance copy, UPC, UPCA, barcode, recycle symbol, and that's the blurb, obviously. So two different tiers, it looks like, by Kroger. Pretty consistent. There's consistency between both items, both products. That's a good thing. You want to make sure you have that consistency throughout your portfolio. You can see the blurbs on both. They talk a little bit about the joy of using the product and its quality and value, which makes a lot of sense. So here's the spoon. Here's the product itself, the utensil, nicely done, nicely made. You can see the smooth edges here. This is, the backside, obviously, and has a nice finish to it. It doesn't really look cheap at all. Looks like it's a decent quality, nice flex as well. There's that level of flex is super important. So it doesn't really break apart in your hand while you're eating or using the utensil itself. And that's the other product here, the transparent ones, Celebration by Kroger. Nicely done. You can see the little hole in the neck or the holding area of the spoon. It saves material, also adds to design. Nice backing on the neck part of the spoon here for sturdiness and quality. So both products, I think they've, I think, done a good job, and you can see both together, how the gauges are different and how they're made differently. And if you compare it with the spoons we were using as our example, you can see obviously there's a size difference, there's a quality difference, materials as well. Obviously the green, there's that color added. And you can see the finishing. Obviously, it's not parallel to the other Kroger products that I have. Okay, folks, here is another brand, pretty well known, Up and Up. It says premium on it on the packaging, and let's see if you can tell which retailer owns it. You can see the logo here, the up arrow. Says premium, but Up and Up is known more for like value, I believe. Here you go. You can see it's Target, of course. You can see the little logo, their web and phone number, and distributed by information along with the UPC. And here's the product itself. Pretty nicely done, I should say, quality wise. Nice flex and quality here. And with these knives, you have to go back and forth if you really want to cut it versus just pressing these knives down. Usually doesn't really work. Here you go. Here is another really interesting product I want to show you. This is, can you guess? This is from Starbucks. Yeah, so I wanted to pick these up, and include them in this episode because Starbucks is all about quality, a little more leaning on the premium side. If you go with good, better, best strategy thing, that they lean a little more towards better or best. So let's see. So this is, as you can see here, pretty nicely done as far as design is concerned. I think they did a really good job with design, but as well as quality. See, you can tell from the back side of the product itself. You can see the backing here, and it's all about the details when you look at it. So when we look at a product like this, you have to kind of zoom in and look at the tiny little details. You can see the neck area. You can see the support here with that molding and what how it is actually designed in the 3D or CAD when they were doing the mold and everything. The whole process, it kind of reflects a lot of that and the attention to detail, and it makes the product obviously more sturdy, easier, better to use. The product experience, or PX, and you can see the neck backing here. It's pretty solid. So I think they have done a good job of going into these little details for this specific product, and nice finish as well. Nice matte type of finish. Flex, you can see, is pretty good here, and feels pretty sturdy, and with a long handle and nice edges, smooth edges as well. So which all comes together to create that nice product experience for the end user. Here is another one. Here's a more of a sustainable, quote unquote, product. And this one is actually from Europe. I picked it up from Scandinavia. You can see the barcode here, and it is not that much in trending right now in the US and our markets, but this is pretty common in that region of the world. And I'm gonna cut it open, the packaging, and let's find out what's inside. And we can see that there are obviously wooden. They're calling it out as well, wood. And obviously, when we talk about sustainability, I'm sure there's a school of thought that this can be debated as well, how sustainable it actually is. But you can see the nice finish here, pretty trendy, and the packaging obviously is shouting out pretty loud that I am sustainable, use me. But when you look at the packaging a little more closely, which is important, to do, I always recommend it's not really giving me a lot of information about where it's actually coming from, what type of wood it is it recycled wood or not. Says, learn, you can go on this website to learn more about how to recycle this product, but where is the material actually coming from, which is a little bit of a question mark, because when you're talking about sustainability and your product is shouting out all about that, then I would like to know a little more. You can see these little, actually, let's see what this is. This looks like a toothpick, which is again more, I think, a trend in Europe or Asia specifically versus the U.S., but you're gonna still find it in North America, but not as much as you will see in the other regions of the parts of the world. So a nice little package here, combo of key items, and obviously nicely done. All right, folks. Here's another brand by Food Lion. As we all know, Food Lion expanding pretty quickly in the U.S. region. Uh, Generic packaging overall. You can see it's a private brand by looking at the distributed by information here. They have a phone number, website, pretty generic, standard format. Front cutout window. You can see the product inside. Again, a pretty standard thing in this category of products. And let me pull out one from the packaging. And overall, I think the product itself. Let's look at it. The product itself is not bad at all. I mean, they've done a good job. You can see the cutout, the punch holes in the handle area, which saves material, as to design as well. Smooth edges, nice material, nice gauge as well, and pretty sturdy. If you look at it comparatively, and yes, flexing well, which is important. And you can see the flex is very different and a lot more in that product. The other one we were reviewing earlier. So yeah, overall, I think it's nicely done. Here's another interesting product. This is Nature's Promise. This is and it says free from, which is a little confusing. Free from what? A little confusing, but it is obviously very different type of a material here, and this is a licensed product, folks. Licensed by Ahold Delhaize, but not really a private brand for that matter. It says heat resistant up to 185 degrees. I don't know if you really want to test that, honestly, but you can see licensing information, regular UPCA format barcode on the back, and some other key information that is mentioned on the back panel, along with a little bit of a blurb, their promise, which is obviously a trend or pattern we see in the competitor products as well. The copywriters are obviously doing their part of the job. And let's pull out a product here. This is definitely compostable material here. They claim it's 100%. And let's see. So the material is pretty matte. The first out of the bat, you see, and pretty big, uh, punch holes in the handle area here. So I'm curious how sturdy these are, because the flexing will be a bit of a challenge, I'm guessing. But we'll obviously have to kind of see. But the finishing and the material feel and all that is pretty good, not bad. But it's about, see, yep, it just snapped right away. So that's the concern with the material. I mean, it's a give and take, and if you have something in your plate or your bowl that is, not that requires a little bit of your pressure, then it's going to break right away. Versus something like this, it will flex, which helps and keeps it from breaking into pieces while in use. So yeah, that will be a concern. But you can see the flex here is pretty strong, and it obviously finally. But I had to apply pretty decent amount of pressure to snap it into two. Versus this one is just just with very little pressure and very little force, it just breaks apart into pieces, and that's obviously a concern. So let me look at another one. There you go. It's just with very little pressure. I'm surprised, honestly. I'm applying very little pressure, and it's just breaking apart from. And you can see it's the pattern here is from that same neck area for the spoon. So let me check a knife here. You can see, there you go. It's just breaking apart very easily, guys. Very easily. It's just, gets into multiple pieces. And yeah, you can create as many looks like. There you go. So yeah. And even the spoon head area, yeah, it comes apart, very easily, kind of almost like eggshells, folks. But you're then obviously helping the environment, but you know, uh, as far as the usability is concerned, that's where you may run into a little bit of a problem. Here is another really fun brand that I saw, Cha-Ching, believe it or not. That's the brand here. You can see the bright orange packaging, and here's their distributed by information. So it is looks like a standalone brand. Will they be interested in creating private brands? I don't know, but here you go. Here's the distributed by information. You can see their phone number as well, and pretty fun packaging. I really like the logo, the little piggy bank. Shouts out quality, I guess, with value, and quality with value is the key in private brands, as well as many other brands that are competing with private brands, which looks like the case. And because this I picked this one up from Food Line as well, so it is uh, on shelf next to their private brands. The product, however, is pretty good. Looks like, pretty nice flex here, but it snaps obviously not as easily as the other one, but it is definitely um, coming apart if you apply just enough pressure. Which obviously it will at some point. It is disposable item, and you can see it comes apart into pieces. But overall, I think it's not bad quality product. It's not bad, and it will obviously break because the amount of pressure I'm applying is expected. But the flex is not as much as some of the other products I showed earlier. So it's I would say somewhere in the middle as far as the quality is concerned. But yeah, overall an interesting product for sure.
All right, folks. You saw multiple products, multiple brands out there. There are thousands more brands out there, I'm sure. Unbranded products are all over the market as well. So at the end of the day, my suggestion is that, if you see a problem like you saw on those pink and green spoons, avoid that product altogether. If you're receiving this type of a product from your supplier, please do question that and try to improve the quality of the product as quickly as possible, because there could be a safety, a health issue. I would even suggest avoid using them in, like, obviously in super hot beverages and stuff like that, because for sure not in microwaves, because we just don't know right now in the industry overall, in this hyper connected economies, that these products will deliver exactly the same way. So there's no standardization, if you would. There are different gauges, different types within disposables. So having said all that, please use your own judgment, because how can you guarantee, or any doctor or a lab, if there's a health concern down the road, that okay, this was caused by 5, 10, 15 years of microscopic level consumption of some kind of a polymer or plastic or what have you in disposable. So the best thing is that, overall, these products seems to be totally safe. I don't see, honestly, any concerns with disposable utensils, as long as they're single use. There is a reason why they're called single use. But when you see a product like we saw on that pink and green spoons, and that they're hairy type of particles sticking out, and when you flex them, they will break apart. They may most likely break apart and detach inside your mouth, and you may consume. And if you're doing it frequently, or kids, or or any person of any age or gender, this may cause, or can be a cause for a concern, for sure. I mean, this is something that I would not use, or would let my friends or family use. So that's where I'm coming from. So hope that was informative for you. And if you like the show, please do like and subscribe, so we can continue to bring such shows to you. Until next time, I'm your host, Dan Rai, signing out.